Hello, folks. Welcome back to now the 25th edition of What the Facts? The most frequently asked questions about nutrition. Well, at the time of this video recording, it's a few days past Thanksgiving. And that's the first hurdle for the last quarter. The next two hurdles to maintain good health come with Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa and the New Year's. Now, you don't want to wait till the end of the year to start doing things right again, okay? It's better to have a strong finish, I think, than to have a horrible finish and then have to feel like you're starting all over again with the new year and the resolutions that go along with it. Now, I've got a handful of tips to help you survive these remaining holidays. And of course, we're all going to survive. But the question is, how are we going to survive? Are we going to take several steps backwards with all the stuff that we tend to consume during the holidays? Or are we going to have just maybe a short step backwards because we indulge a little bit here and there? I think it's healthier to do the latter. Nobody's perfect. So first and foremost, have a plan, okay? Plan on what you're going to eat. Sit down, really think about it, about what the next days are going to bring, what days you're going to be eating out, and plan ahead. Plan to have the healthy foods available in your refrigerator and in your cabinets, so that when you are at home on days off, you don't have all these temptations that are going to take you down the wrong path. Now, of course, if there are other people in your home that have all these kinds of cakes and pies and pastries and donuts, those are going to be your temptations. But you need to have your alternatives, your substitutions ready, so you can walk past those sugary, highly salted and fatted foods and eat the healthier stuff. All right, so first thing is to have a plan. Second thing is, if you are eating out, with relatives or friends, call ahead, or rather go online. Most restaurants have an online menu, and you can go and kind of plan your meal. It's often going to be, if it's not a vegan or plant-based restaurant, it's going to be looking at those side dishes, the steamed broccoli or the asparagus, with mashed potatoes that aren't loaded already with butter and salt, and you come up with your meal. Most restaurants have a salad, and you can have the dressing on the side and try to choose the healthiest dressing. But plan out your meal so that when it comes time and the menu as it goes to you, you're not spending an extra 5 to 10 minutes trying to figure out what you're going to do. So that's, again, planning ahead. If you're going to eat over at someone's home, a relative or friend, talk to the friend ahead of time. Let them know that you'll need some vegetarian or vegan sources, or rather vegan options, so that you can enjoy yourself too. And if you get kind of a cold answer or cold reply, ask about whether if you can bring your own dish and bring some to share that's healthier. You'll be surprised. You might be the hit of the evening with whatever you bring. And last resort, eat before you go. That goes for the restaurant too. If it's a restaurant that really has minimal options for you, eat a healthy meal or snack before you go, so that you're not starving when you get there, and you can still pull out a few things from the menu or eat a few things that your friend or relative might have on hand that are healthy and not going to set you back. All right. Remember to shop, on your day off or weekend. Shop for the foods that you like that are healthy, so that they are available easily at your fingertips, and you don't have to, feel like you're starving because there's nothing for you to eat. If someone else does the shopping, give them a list. And if it's accessible to you, remember, you can always have stuff delivered, especially since the pandemic. So many different retailers want to deliver you stuff anyway. So that's part of the planning ahead. Now, another tip is, don't hang around the kitchen too long after you've eaten. Especially during the holidays, there's all that stuff hanging out there colorful candies and, pastries and all that stuff that won't spoil even when it's sitting out, often because it's loaded with chemicals and sugar. So that's not your friend, right? So have the healthy stuff available. It may have to be in the fridge or whatever, but you know, make sure it has been shopped and you have it. And don't hang around the kitchen. That was the main line. The other thing is stay well hydrated. When your stomach is feeling at least as full, even if it's not food, you're gonna less likely have those pangs of desire to eat the bad stuff. So always have some water to sip on, or some herbal tea, some things like that to kind of wet the palate, keep you hydrated, and keep you out of harm's way. Um, those are most what I wanted to say. I think the holidays are a really tough time because there's a lot of emotional eating. Sometimes this time of the year, some of the bad things in our lives that happened years ago tend to surface and make us reach for comfort food. But we can get through this by having that mindfulness of this challenge and being prepared for it by planning. So I'm going to cut this video off. I'm going to try to make videos shorter and shorter because I know we have a short attention span. That's why TikTok is so popular. I'll end with a couple of tips of the week. Number one is being successful with nutrition and expanding your life and health span really is about learning. It's about education. So you need to continuously educate yourself and you need to have the right resources. Two of the top resources I think on the planet. One, PCRM.org, especially on YouTube. It's hosted by Chuck Carroll. It's Dr. Neil Barnard's program called The Exam Room on YouTube, and that's sponsored by PCRM.org. PCRM as in man, as in manual, as in most.org. And then the other one is Nutrition Facts, FACTS.org, hosted by Dr. Michael Greger, Greger. He's also on YouTube. They both have websites, PCRM.org and the nutritionfacts.org. But I love their YouTube presentations. There are several of them per week. 6 to 7 days a week, you should be hanging out, learning something. That's the key. That's your motivation. That's your foundation. That's your resource for cogent, truthful information. All right, folks. Have a good rest of the holidays. And I'll see you next time. Take care.